I have been joined by Congress Party senior leader and national spokesperson, Supriya Shrinate. Ma'am, your take on the arrest of the relative of the Chief Minister of Punjab, Mr. Charanjit Singh Channi. What do you have to say?
I simply have to say one thing, that in the middle of an election, 5 state assemblies are going to election, the BJP has sensed that they are going to lose and lose very badly. And they are going to lose because of high prices, because of unemployment, because of what they have done to farmers. And so in the middle of elections, they take the one resort that they've taken to. This is their, jisko chir parishad script kaha jata hai, this is their script, and it's kind of getting boring now. You take these agencies, put them as your frontals and attack your, people who are against you in politics. Whether it's Mr. Channi or Mr. Sidhu raking up a 6-year-old case against Mr. Channi, 33-year-old case against Mr. Sidhu, arresting the Chief Minister's nephew. What are you up to? And is this how democracy is going to function? The reality is that Mr. Modi has not been able to digest the fact that a Dalit can be the Chief Minister of Punjab. He has not been able to digest the fact that the farmers of that state, despite 700 of them sacrificing their lives, stood their ground, peacefully made you back off and actually withdraw the farm laws. This is nothing but an attempt to malign the state of Punjab, to take revenge, and this is Mr. Modi at his vindictive best.
But at the same time, all the other opposition parties and their leaders in Punjab, whether it's Akali Dal, whether it's Mr. Kejriwal and others, they have been attacking Mr. Channi. Mr. Sukhbir Badal has gone one step ahead and said that the next arrest will be of Mr. Channi himself.
I will point out 2 things. Mr. Badal's wife, Harsimrat Kaurji, was a minister in the Modi government. She sat there applauding when the cabinet passed the 3 farm laws, anti-farmer laws. She resigned only when they sensed that people in this country were turning against the BJP. So the blood of the farmers is as much on the hand of the Badals as it is on their senior partner, once the senior partner, the BJP. Mr. Kejriwal was one of the first chief ministers to actually approve and pass the 3 anti-farmer laws in his assembly. When he says the mood of the nation was turning against Mr. Modi and was actually steadfast with the farmers, is when he backed off. The reality is that there are people who are scared of the ED, whether it's Mr. Majitia or whether it's Mr. Amarinder Singh who's taken refuge and joined hands with you, or whether it is Mr. Arvind Kejriwal himself. The reality is, this drama has to end, this script has to end, and the farmers of this country, the Dalits of this country, who you want to oppress, who you want to crush, whose voices you want to demonize, they are the ones who are going to end this.
What do you have to say about ED? Because you have raised question marks on ED.
I mean, who am I to talk about the ED? I think every child in this country who can spell ED will tell you what ED is doing. ED is no longer Enforcement Directorate. It is the election department of the BJP, acts at their behest, acts against political opponents, and you see what ED's functions have been. ED in Rajasthan, ED in Madhya Pradesh, ED in Karnataka, ED in Goa, ED in Arunachal. What is ED doing? ED is no longer acting on money laundering. ED is actually only playing the political games that the BJP wants it to play, and I think its own credibility has been tattered. And that's all that I want to say on the ED. And I don't think it's only me. I think everybody in this country realizes what these agencies are up to.
My final question is in connection with Mr. Sidhu. He's the Punjab Congress chief. He has just given a statement saying that some people in the Delhi, in the top in Congress, don't want a strong chief minister. They want to control the CM. He's referring to the leadership in Delhi.
So I haven't seen this statement, and so I would not want to react to this, at least not in its entirety. But the statement that I heard, and a very bold statement that he had made emphatically in the presence of my leader Rahul Gandhi ji, was that no matter who the Congress party chooses to be the CM's face, we're all going to fight this election together and defeat the BJP and the forces like that, whether it's the Akalis or it's the AAP or anybody there. And I think I will believe him on that. He's the Congress party chief, and I don't think I would want to react to a statement that I actually haven't heard.
Well, that was Ms. Supriya Shrinate speaking to us with journalist Abhishek Supriya Bhardwaj. Find it today in Delhi.